Sunday, the 24th of July, file 1. It is 9:30 in the morning, and the weather is quite nice. It's sunny, although we do have some clouds dotted about. It's dry, and we have a fairly kind northwest wind. All right, and so I'm just about to set off the first leg of my cycle ride up to the Lake District. Sunday, the 24th of July, day 1 of the Lakes cycle tour. File 2. It's around about the 1300 hours time, and I've done 24.5 miles. And I'm at the lakes at Holywell. I've had one slight mechanical problem where I've had to change the wheel nut on the rear wheel, but that's been sorted now. It's been fairly heavy going to start off with. I've just come through a mild pain barrier and things are looking better now. Mileage wise, I'm bang on schedule for doing 70 miles in the first day, which is what it's quite warm. It's there is a kind of a hotness to the day, so we have lots of insects out. We've got wasps and loads of butterflies about. Notice lots of buddleia plants, so they're certainly going to attract quite a few of the butterflies, but it's mainly whites I've been seeing. So birding wise, highlights have been probably seen 4 red kites up to now and 2 sparrowhawks. Heard lots of green finches and nothing else out of the ordinary. Time to move on. Sunday, 24th of July, day 1 of the Lakes cycle tour. File 3. Right, it's 1600 hours and I've just rested up for over 10 minutes. At this moment, finding the going pretty tough. Done 41.6 miles. Behind schedule now by about at least 5 miles, I should think, and just beyond the A52 on the way to Ancaster. So still making fairly good progress. No more real highlights of the day, although we had a good view of a close view of a kestrel and fairly good view of a buzzard. Haven't taken many photos. Only a photo of highlight was I took some close-up photos of a rather large grasshopper, and I took a nice photo of this person who transformed his front garden into a kind of a railway station with all signals and signs up. Besides that, very few photos taken. Right, let's get on. Sunday, July the 24th, 2011, day 1 of the Lakes cycle tour. File number 4. Right, it's just after 20 past 7. It's on the 64 miles that have been covered, and I'm just outside a place called Auburn. So within half an hour I could well be in a field and pitching up my tent, and so that means I'll more or less be on schedule for mileage. I'll get to quite close to 70, which is okay. Right, it's the weather's held up really good all during the day up to now. As the days progress, this northwest and northwesterly moderate breeze has been quite cooling because it has been quite warm today. I think there's a couple of darker clouds coming about, which I suppose is not surprising, because with a bit of heat being generated, moisture is going to be sucked up into the air. Alright, so I've taken very few photos today. The last highlight birding wise was I came across some fields where farmers were working, or had been working, 1 or 2, and in one of them there was way over 200 gulls. There was a good 100. There was a good 100 lesser blackback gulls, a good 100 black-headed gulls, and I'd say 20 plus common gulls, which was a nice little surprise. Got it, time to soldier on. Sunday the 24th of July 2011, day 1 of the Lakes Cycle Tour. This is file number 5. It's 21:30. I'm inside the tent and with everything sorted, and I'm having a hot drink at the moment. Set up camp around about 20:20 and did exactly 70 miles. Couple of problems though. One is the main radio is broken, but the real big problem is that in the morning I'm going to have to put an inner tube into the rear wheel of the bike, as I have a slow puncture. So with this happening so early, I shall probably have to maybe pick 1 or 2 more spare inner tubes up just in case, because the one that's gone flat, it appears to be the problems around the valve area, and if that's so, they usually can't be repaired. So that's not too good. So that'll set me back at least half an hour to 40 minutes in the morning, but I've sorted most of the things and changed my rear panniers again. For the hooks, I've changed the styling of the hooks so they'll sit on the rear carrier better. Right, had a buzzard in about the next field of where I am, which incidentally is on the outskirts of Wisby, where we have the nature reserve. Birding wise, haven't heard of skylark today. Not many house martins, fairly good numbers of swallows, not too many swifts. Good numbers of greenfinch, yellow hammers, that sort of thing. No corn bunting, which would have been nice. Right, so I'm going to hit the sack after I have this drink, and then hopefully get up quite early in the morning feeling refreshed. Monday, 25th of July 2011, day 2 of the Lakes Cycle Tour. Right, it's almost 10:30 and I've just made ready for the day. I've had to repair the back wheel puncher. I've been able to fix the old tyre, inner tube rather, and I've put a new inner tube in, which seems to be fine. The fitting inside the tyre and wheel should prove no problem. Right, there's been 1 or 2 other little things to sort out. I didn't wake up until 8:20 after a pretty good sleep. The weather is a kind of thin veil of cloud, and the sun's trying to shine through. There's very little wind today, and about just over the railway line has a railway crossing just before Wisby. Right, so my plan is I've got to do at least 60 today and hopefully 70, so I better get cracking. Monday the 25th of July 2011, day 2 on the Lakes Cycle Tour. Right, it's just after 12:40. I'm a little bit behind schedule. I've done 12.3 miles, and I've stopped at a place called Laneham. A couple of miles back, I negotiated the toll bridge over the Trent. So I'm making a bit of progress, but it's a few miles behind at the moment. I needed to have been up to at least 14 miles by now. So I'm trying to make up for it in the next hour. Right, not too much has happened up to now. Seen a couple of kestrels, that's about all of interest. Still not heard a skylark yet on my travels, which is pretty amazing. The bike seems to be functioning okay so far. Right, must make a move. Monday, 25th July 2011, cycle tour. Right, I've just had to trek across the field because came across a road that had some workings on it, so there's no access. So I took what appeared to be a minor road to get me across some major roads, but it turned out to be a farm road. But now I'm on the A18 just outside Sancroft, so it gives me access to get back onto the route. It's 5 to 5 and I've done 41 miles, so I don't know, I'm about 5 miles off schedule. But then again, I've been put back by nearly half an hour. It's just beginning to drizzle. It shouldn't be on for too long, so I don't think I'll need to sort of like change into too much other gear. Right, bird-wise, nothing special happening. I might have seen a marsh harrier though. Certainly seen another buzzard. Now it's time to move on. Monday, 25th July 2011, day 2 of the Lakes cycle tour. File number 4. Right, it's been quite difficult today, although I have managed to do 66 miles, which is not too bad after such a late start. Lots of twists and turns today, and because of that I haven't done much of an entry into my logbook, and also this is only the 4th file that I've done today, so it'll be handy to try to recoup. So I managed to come over via the toll bridge over the Trent, and managed to take all the dike-like roads all up through the system, just west of Goole. And I'm on the outskirts of Selby, and it's about 10 past 10, and I've camped out within the last hour, but not in the best of places. So hopefully I can get up quite early in the morning and get an early start. I'll have to try and work out what mileage there is left to do to Olston via the alternative route or the more direct route. But even besides that, I have quite a few other alternatives. I can nearly go once I get past Tadcaster. I can more or less go straight up to Peatley Bridge. So we'll have to see. What mileage has got to be done. I think the weather's okay for the next 2 days, so that should be fine. The bike's in good nick now, after the 1 or 2 little troubles. The food is lasting well. The general radio's broken, but the MP3 player tonight is picking up most of the FM programs. So I'm listening to the World Tonight on Radio 4. Trying to think burden wise, what was useful. Seen lots and lots of swallows today. Yeah, must have numbered not far off 100. Seen at least 1 yellow wagtail, so that was pretty good. Seen an odd cormorant. Water wise, I've drunk, I'd say, at least 4 litres today. Trying to think. Earlier in the day, I bought 1.5 litres of water, and then I also picked up 2 litres of water from a very nice couple. So I've come past a place called Baden, if I can remember its name properly. This whole area by Selby is crisscrossed with crossings. because of all the minor railway lines going out to places like Selby itself. You've got Tadcaster out to Goole, I take it. Then I suppose there'll be lines that will go out to the whole region. You have lines going down to Doncaster, further out to Gainsborough. So it's quite a network of lines. Right, I think that will do. Tuesday, the 26th of July 2011, day 3 of the Lake Cycle Tour. It's just left 8:45 and I've packed all my gear and I'm ready to set off on day 3. So this is an earlier start. I'm aiming for at least 70 miles today if I'm to go through the Yorkshire Dales on my way to Alston. Wasn't the best campsite, but I've made the most of it and appear to be in pretty good shape. What I've got to do is get some water this morning, and I'll have to make use of the map quite a lot in the early stages of getting through the built up areas around Tadcaster and Wetherby. So this has been file 1. Tuesday, 26th of July 2011, day 3 of the Lake Cycle Tour. File 2 for the day. Right, it's just after 1 o'clock. I've covered 26.4 miles, just below schedule. And now I've hit rolling hills. So the landscape's completely changed. From arable to pasture. I've got a sheep farm in front of me here, and having to work a little bit more now with hill climbs, but at least it's more interesting. I've just passed the River Wharf at Linton, took some photos of it because it looked really good, quite big, quite wide, and within the next 10 or 20 miles I've got to decide on what route I'm going to take, whether to head directly for Pateley Bridge or go around to Kettlewell. It'll all depend on how I feel and how I progress over the next couple of hours. Right, Tuesday, 26th July 2011, day 3 of the Lakes Cycle Tour. Right, the last 4 hours have been really tough going. I've began to hit the smaller of the rolling hills of Yorkshire, and there's been a lot of hills to negotiate. So I've only just done over 51 miles and it's almost 6 o'clock. So at the moment over the 3 days I've done about 188 miles, and I reckon at minimum getting to Alston will be about 260 miles. At the most maybe 265. So I need to stay out for at least another 2 hours this evening and getting as many miles as I can. But these hills will make that quite difficult. Right, nothing untoward has happened too much since I last spoke. Stopped off at Ripley and took photos of the castle there, which was very impressive. I was in 2 minds whether to do that because it was holding me up for time. Anyway, must move. Right then. Tuesday, 26th of July 2000, day 3 of the Lakes Cycle Tour. File number 4. Right, it's just leaving 9:45 in the evening. I've just had a main meal in my tent. Probably the first really good main meal I've had, besides bits of food here and bits of food there. I'm about 7 miles south of Richmond, and today 67 miles was done, so that brings up the total to 204. It's probably just over 60 miles to go at the most to Alston tomorrow, so that shouldn't be too bad. Once I get up onto the Tees road, although it's steady climbing, it'll be a good quality road. Right, it's been quite difficult today, especially the second third of the day, when I start to hit the first of the Yorkshire hill climbs, and it's been up and down in a lot of areas, especially at Harrogate. That was quite difficult, and one or two wrong turnings were made. But this didn't amount to too much deviation. Eating quite well today, especially now after a really big supper, and drunk plenty of water again today. So I'll probably drink in the measure of at least 4 litres. Definitely the first day was 5 litres, and you can add to that at least another 8 litres for the last 2 days. Right, it was nice to have gone through Ripley, because photos were taken of the castle there, which was really good. Some photos have been taken of the River Wharf and the River I think it is. Right, a highlight of the day is about 5 minutes ago. Well, just after eating my main meal of the day, I heard a quail. So this is a first for me. You distinctly hear its wet my lips call that it makes, and it's in the same field that I'm in, so at least that's been a bonus. Also red kites today, nuthatch today, coal tit, marsh tit that was heard. Also a corn bunting, just as I was setting up my tent in this field. Heard a corn bunting, so that was pretty good. Right, that'll do. Need some shut eye.